We now move from the school board to the state library in Salem, where Governor Kotek faced the press this morning to talk about this year's short session. Her priority all along was on housing, and she got most of what she wanted. But the other big headline was, of course, House Bill 4002, the bill to recriminalize hard drugs starting in September. The governor made clear today that she will sign that bill, but she hasn't done it yet. She spent much of her 40-minute press conference talking about her housing bills and 4002. Our Blair Best covered those aspects in our earlier shows today. You can find them on our KGW YouTube channel. We're going to focus on another big issue that she was asked about today, tolling. As you may know, we've been covering this issue all week here in the story after Kotek sent a bombshell letter to the State Transportation Board telling them to stop the regional tolling project that would have put several tolls along I-5 and I-205 in the Portland Metro. By removing tolling for now, the question becomes, how will current and future ODOT projects be funded? The governor says that is up to the legislature.
We have to talk about different ways to fund transportation. Certainly, the traditional gas tax is always part of it. Fees, for having a vehicle, but also we have to look at other things. That's why tolling was brought into this conversation in 2017. What my decision said is the process that was started in the 2017 legislature was not ready to go all the way through. That doesn't mean tolling in itself as a mechanism shouldn't be considered, but we got to this point where if we're going to spend more money to stand up the tolling infrastructure here in Oregon, we needed to have more certainty, and we were planning to spend a lot of money to do that. And frankly, I didn't think we knew we'd have the certainty to actually implement it. Now, the legislature needs to look at the different ways to fund transportation. I think you have to talk about all the sources, including tolling, to figure that out. But the legislature has to reset the conversation. The way it was set up for the metro area with the regional pricing project was not going to work. So they need to go back to the drawing table and say, is this part of the future conversation? And how do we get buy-in? And how do we address issues like diversion when if tolling is going to go into place? Things that were not addressed appropriately at this point. So I will be starting the conversation with legislative leadership about what's your plan? What are you doing around transportation? This is going to be a topic for 2025. And that conversation starts now.
Another big conversation for ODOT officials right now is what to do with projects that have either already started or on the cusp of getting underway. Two main ones include the Abernathy Bridge project and the gargantuan Rose Quarter improvements. It's worth noting that just this week, the Rose Quarter project got $450 million from the federal government to help build a cap or a lid over I-5 in an effort to restore the Albina community. But even with that money, tolling was another stream to help pay for that. And for the moment, that stream has run dry.
The legislature, one of my priorities for 2025 is that the funding that they can pass will actually follow through on the commitments we made 8 years ago. Rose Quarter, Abernathy Bridge. I want to be really clear with legislators. We have to do the basics and commit the projects that are in the queue before we start new projects. And so they're going to have to figure out how to fund those things first before we talk about any new projects. And that's Rose Quarter, that's Abernathy. Abernathy will be done, but with our other things on 205, there are other things in the metro area, and there are other projects around the state that we've committed to. They have to get funded and done before we start anything new. Plus, we have to have basic maintenance and all those kinds of things as well.
We've told you several times this week, but we'll say it again. As it stands, the hallmark issue for the 2025 legislative session in Oregon will be transportation funding, and you can bet we'll be watching.